Good evening, I'm your host, and tonight we're stepping into one of Britain's most terrifying true stories, the Black Monk of Pontefract. In the late 1960s, an ordinary council house at 30 East Drive on the Chequerfield estate in Pontefract, West Yorkshire, became the stage for Europe's most violent poltergeist haunting. The Pritchard family, John, Joe, and their children, Philip, 15, and Diane, 12, moved in, expecting a quiet life. Instead, they faced a nightmare that would haunt them for years, leaving bruises, scars, and a chilling legacy that lingers today. It began in August 1966, just days after the family settled in. Philip and his grandmother, Sarah Scholes, were alone when a strange dust fell from mid-air in the living room, settling into eerie patterns. Sarah went to clean it, only to find pools of water on the kitchen floor with no pipes or leaks to explain them. A plumber was baffled, unable to find a source. That night, a cold gust swept through the house, chilling Sarah to the bone. Then, a heavy chest of drawers began to sway on its own. As if pushed by invisible hands. Terrified, Sarah and Philip fled to a neighbor's house, too scared to stay. When Jean and Joe returned, the disturbances grew worse. Lights flickered, then turned on and off repeatedly, with no fault in the wiring. Objects flew across rooms. Cups, books, even a solid oak sideboard. The family heard loud bangs and crashes like something heavy falling, but found nothing out of place. Green foam oozed from taps, even when the water was shut off. Plants leaped from their pots, smashing on the stairs. Family photos were slashed, as if clawed by an unseen force. The house, once a home, felt alive with malice, its air thick with dread. The Pritchards called their poltergeist Fred, perhaps to make it less frightening. But Fred was no friendly spirit. The activity focused on Diane, the youngest. She was slapped, her hair pulled, and her face scratched by invisible hands. One night, her bed shook violently, nearly throwing her out. The family tried to ignore it, but the terror was relentless. Jean, determined not to be driven out, refused to leave, even as the house turned against them. The local press dubbed the entity Mr. Nobody, but soon a darker name emerged. The Black Monk, tied to a sinister history buried in Pontefract's past. As the haunting at 30 East Drive intensified, the Pritchards faced a new horror, the Black Monk himself. By 1968, the poltergeist's violence had escalated, and a terrifying figure began to appear. John and Joe woke one night to see a tall, black-robed shape hovering over their bed, its cowled hood hiding any face. The air grew icy, and the figure vanished, leaving them trembling. Others saw it too, a 7-foot shadow gliding past the frosted glass of the living room door or lurking in the hallway. No one ever saw its face, but its presence filled the house with dread. Diane suffered the worst. Fred's attacks grew vicious, targeting her with terrifying force. One night, her hair stood on end, as if charged with electricity. Then, an invisible grip seized her throat, dragging her kicking and screaming up the stairs. When John reached her, Diane was shaking, with clear finger marks on her neck. The trauma left her scarred, both physically and emotionally. The family tried everything to stop the terror. Exorcisms were performed, but they only angered Fred. Holy water seeped from the walls, and during one ritual, a pair of women's fur gloves floated in the air, mocking the priests by conducting their hymns. Investigators later uncovered a chilling link to the land's history. Across from 30 East Drive, a gallows once stood, used during the 16th century. A Cluniac priory, active from 1090 to 1539, was nearby, and records suggested a monk had been hanged there for the rape and murder of a young girl around Diane's age. Some believe this monk's restless spirit became the Black Monk, his violence fueled by guilt or rage. The nearby Pontefract Castle, where King Richard II was murdered, added to the area's dark energy, as if the land itself was cursed. The haunting paused for 2 years, giving the family brief hope. But in 1970, it returned with a vengeance. Diane was pulled from her bed, her screams echoing through the house. Objects levitated, and a knife was found on the stairs after a loud bang, as if placed there by Fred. The small coal house room became a place of terror, where visitors felt a suffocating presence. Some reported being locked inside, the door refusing to budge. The Pritchards endured, but the constant fear took its toll, turning their home into a prison of terror. By the mid-1970s, the Pritchards could no longer endure the Black Monk's torment. They left 30 East Drive, hoping to escape Fred's grip. The house stood empty for years, its reputation growing as one of Britain's most haunted. But the Black Monk never left. When new visitors arrived, the activity flared again. In 2012, Bill Bungay, a filmmaker, bought the house to promote his movie, When the Lights Went Out, based on the haunting. He soon learned the poltergeist was still active, throwing objects and terrifying guests. Ghost hunters have since flocked to 30 East Drive, drawn by its dark fame. In 2016, Pete Bolton of Ghost Inspectors Paranormal Group captured a photo showing a hooded figure in a hallway mirror, taken when no one was downstairs. Others reported cigarette burns, scratches, and even a broken leg after provoking Fred. One group heard a man's voice growl "Get out!" from an empty room, sending them fleeing into the night. Today, 30 East Drive is open for ghost hunts, but the owner warns visitors the spirits are not to be trifled with. Ouija boards and exorcisms are banned, as they seem to enrage Fred. Many report hearing growls, seeing shadows, or feeling a heavy weight in the air. The staircase, where Diane was dragged, remains a focal point of terror, with tapping sounds heard at night, as if the monk still paces. The house feels frozen in time, its musty smell and old furniture adding to the unease. The Black Monk's origins remain a mystery. Was he a vengeful monk, tied to the gallows' grim past? Or something darker, feeding on the fear of those who enter? Over 50 years later, 30 East Drive is still alive with paranormal activity, its walls holding the screams of the Pritchards and the rage of Fred. Would you dare spend a night in this house, knowing what lurks within? Or would you stay far away, safe from the Black Monk's grasp?